India and Syria have thousands of years of relationship. From the Silk Route that India and Syria have enjoyed for the trade that we all know, for thousands of years, India and Syria have maintained the most cordial relationship in diplomacy, in political, in socio, in business, and in cultural. Two great civilizations. Today, I'm honored to be at the residence of Dr Riad Abbas, Ambassador of Syria. And today, you are here to define that relationship to the new level between India and Syria.
You are welcome, sir. India is a great country, has a great civilization, old civilization, as we have in Syria in old century. Understand? These two civilizations they were had a good relation, and after the independence of our both country too, we have a good relation between India and Syria. Always have the similar position in international arena, in international organization, and there is mutual visit between the both country in individual and the government side. Since beginning of our issue in Syria, we highly appreciate Indians' position about Syrian issue, which ask for political solution made by Syrians themselves against any external intervention, and execute the aspiration of our Syrian people. If any country do like India, we have no problem in Syria. And as we know, not only in Syria, entire the world, India is the largest democracy in the world, and who would like to teach democracy, he has to come to India. That is why I will tell you for joking, my son got his secondary school from Tagore International School here in India, and got his higher study in Delhi University and Hamdard University, and last month win the election in Syria and become member of parliament in Syria. On behalf of my government and my son in the parliament, I would like to invite Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, to visit our country in Middle East, according to our cordial relations since a century and old relation between the both country. Because India, from the ground of India, the peace spirit entire the world, the principle of Gandhiji, and now the principle of Mr. Modi government, who look to make every country independent, support the independence of any country, and doesn't like to intervene in internal issue for any country. That is why we like India. We like to promote the relation with India in different field. And I will tell you something maybe not well known for everybody. Indian government provide for our people in this crisis many time aids for our people to defeat this problem in Syria. They send medicine, foods, and they give for our students 1,000 scholarship who are now in India, continue their higher study. Those students who get their study in India, they will hold India in their heart, and they will become like special envoy for India forever, because they like India from their heart, not for any interest, not for any benefit. As I said for you, my child continues their study here in India. They speak well Hindi, and they are like messenger for India outside. And my son in parliament now look forward to promote the relation between the parliament of Syria and the parliament of India. And I repeat again, on behalf of our Prime Minister in Syria, I would like to invite the hero man here in India, Mr. Narendra Modi, to visit Syria, and I would like to welcome him in our airport in Damascus.
That's a very upbeat and positive input that you have put forward to the government of India, that you have you would be interested, and your Prime Minister will be interested to host our Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Damascus. Maybe that would be a very strong for both the countries and the relationship. Sir, but you are also a part Indian, because you have been in India for so long, as you have already said that your children have grown up, now a parliamentarian in Syria, have also been in this country and will be a great ambassador of India to Syrian parliament. So we think that there is a very good what you call route, or a diplomatic route that could be exploited by both India and Syria. Excellency, how do you see the commerce could grow between the two countries, because Syria needs rebuilding and India has a very strong strength in developing infrastructure?
Yes, my dear, as I invite Prime Minister of India on behalf of our government, I would like to invite to all Indian company to help our people, our government to rebuild Syria, and all facility for Indian company in our country in Syria. But as you know, there is little difficulty for them right now because of American embargo. But as I know, India is a great country and independent country, doesn't listen for anyone outside. Every country has to listen for the voice of their people, the interest of their government. I would like to invite all Indian company to visit Syria and to see by their eyes what is the real situation in the ground of Syria. What you have seen in the media is totally different. There is some disturbance in the border between us and Turkey, in the border of Turkey, because as you know, the dreams of the president of Turkey would like to revive Turkish or autonomous emperor in the area, and he would like to make like UK Commonwealth. He would like to make Commonwealth of Turkey entire the region and outside, and he will look to control the interest of our people in Syria or our people in Arab countries, and who would like to go by religion way to control those people who has no dream in their mind to follow him in his theory. I will tell you openly, he will fail on his dream, and as we make fail American project in Middle East. We are independent country, we don't listen to anyone. Yes, we lose too much in our country, we know. Somebody will tell you what this ambassador has talking, his country is destroyed. Yes, destroyed, yes, from outside, from colonialism state, from the equipment, the follower of America and those colonialism country who has no independent decision. They follow colonialism state to destroy this Arab country, who is the only country has independent decision, doesn't listen to anyone. We are not afraid from biggest country, superpower country in the world. Only we would like to save our dignity. We destroy our country, yes, but we don't change our principle, we don't change our policy, we don't surrender our country, understand? Yes, now we are facing some problem in Syria to help our people to revive because of those sanctions. We have less food, less power, less. But I will say for you, Syria is the richest country in Middle East, and Syria is the only Arab secular country. Syria, if you compare to India, we have the same society, but compared to India, we are a small country. We have diversity, we have parliament, we have election. My son wins the election in Syria because he learned democracy in India, because there is democracy in Syria. And some other countries, there is not parliament, no constitution, no election, and they speak in international arena as a promoted country, big country. And where is your dignity? Where is the election?
But the truth is that Syria, though it has last 3, 4, 5 years has been a difficult time, but Syria has stood its own ground, and that is something the world at large, the unipolar or the bipolar or multipolar world is seeing that, and that is something that Syria stood its own ground all throughout the turmoil as well.
My dear, the problem in Syria is very clear for everybody. Colonialism state, I will not mention how many colonialism state you are facing from colonialism in the past, in last century. Those colonialism states, they would like to revive their authority in Middle East. They would like to control our national resources. They would like to change our policy in Middle East, but will not allow them to come back to our homeland. Will defeat them in our homeland and will save our sovereignty, our dignity, our national resources. Now, as you heard in the media, Trump crying in America, I need share from crude oil of Syria. That is why I put checkpoint American in the wheel of crude oil in Syria. Understand? By force you cannot take anything. By dealing by third country will not deal with you and will not go to you begging you for the peace. We know well how to save our country and to defeat all those enemy who come by illegal way to our ground. If something happened in future, don't ask us. We are not responsible if your soldier come back to their homeland by grave. Not our duty. If our people make residency against you, those American army who sent by you to Syria, you are the responsible, not ours. For what you came as a thief to Syria. Who told you to come? If you say Russian army came by legal way to Syria. Our government requests them come help us to defeat terror groups in the ground of Syria. But for Americans, they came like a thief under the table. They would like to take our national resources, to take it in the wallet of Trump.
Sir, Excellency, there has been a small minority of anti-national element who are playing their part in your country. When do you think that this will subside so that the economy, the business, the relationship, the cultural relationship, because Syria is one of the established partner in the Middle East, and Syria has a good checkered history of leadership, and the Middle East looks after Syria as for the leadership.
Yes. I'll tell you, Syria, it was advancing country in Middle East. I will tell you something may be very strange. If we keep like this 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, we don't need anything from outside. We can eat from our land, we can take our garment from our factory, we can do everything because we are rich country and our people are active people. Second, Syria is very strange also, I will tell you, to let our friendly people here in India to know that the first Arabic flight landing in Delhi, it was Syrian Air. Understand? That is why our relation is very old and very strong in the past, and I hope it remain like that for future, today and for future. It is the same. And last month there were a virtual meeting between our both foreign ministry, and they look forward to enhance the relation. I will tell you. And India and Syria, they have one position against terrorism. We are facing terrorism. That is why we have to check hands together and to defeat terrorism everywhere, in our homeland or outside, and to cut the monetary of terrorism from any way it came to our homeland or India or anywhere again. In Syria, I will tell you openly, our president came to the power by majority support of our people. He came by Baas party who rules the country. The Baas party has majority, they support our president to come to the power. And our president took his study in UK, understand, and he has many followers till now in the ground of Syria. If we make now free election in Syria, he will win the election in Syria. But the condition of colonialism country and America, no, we have to make free election without President Assad.
And every country has its own freedom to exercise for their own people. Yes. A democracy for your country, and for the election that can happen, it should be free and fair, and for the people of your country, no external influence. But Pakistan and Turkey, that axis is not only troubling India, but I assume that your country up north, the expansionist policy, that is what the critics may say about the Turkey, that is trying to influence some pockets in your country, and that is that needs to be criticized at the highest level, because our Prime Minister just today spoke at the United Nations and said that every country's sovereignty has to be accepted and respected, and at the same time there is no place for terrorism anywhere in the world.
Yes, you are right, and I am in favor of your Prime Minister, what he has done speech in United Nations. I will tell you openly, the President of Turkey this dream to revive Ottoman Emperor in the war. That is why he sent his troops to Somalia, to Qatar, to Libya, to Djibouti, to Iraq, and make intervention in Syria. This is his dream, but he will not remain like that. And his dream also to make like UK Commonwealth, he would like to make Islamic Commonwealth. You have to take care for that. As a politician in your country, they have to open their eyes to see what is his dream. If he will let him go on the same way, he will reach this area also. But I hope he will fail by his dream and by his follower, and we are against his policy in Middle East and will defeat him, and his country will be affected in future if he will continue by this dream.
So, taking a step forward, Excellency, business and cultural relationship are two important aspects. Business certainly is important, but cultural diplomacy is the soft power that both the countries could leverage out of it.
Yes, I mentioned in the beginning, our student got 1,000 seats here in India, in different state and different university, and they are happy in their study, and their family are happy. And I will tell you openly, our government very happy, because they know when they continue their study here in India, they will come back to help our people and our government to rebuild Syria, because Syrian Indian policy doesn't make this soft power to make any internal intervention in our country or in other country. That is why we look forward to increase the number of scholarship for our students here in India, and look forward also to our friendly government, Indian government, to help more and more Syria in future, to increase the relationship in economical side, in culture side, political side. And we request Indian company, don't listen for the embargo of America, don't listen for the propaganda. Damascus is very safe, and you can ask your active ambassador in Damascus. He's a very good ambassador. He has good connection with our government, and his feedback will benefit all businessmen here in India and Indian government what it going on in the ground of Syria. We look forward from our friendly country to help our people in this critical time, and future Syria will be the best country in Middle East, and we'll never forget our friendly country who help us in this critical time.
Excellency, there are two aspects that needs your attention. One is the security of the people who will invest from India in your country in terms of their financial well-being, and at the same time the staff and the team and the company and the people, labor force that will work in that country. And at the same time, the second most important aspect will be, how do we look for what are your requirements? If you can elaborate through our channel about what are the things that you want the investment from India to be in.
I will tell you in the beginning, now most of our cities are destroyed by rebels, by terrorism group, by ISIS, who get support from Turkish side directly. Understand? We need some companies, special in builder company, We need some plants, steel plants, cement plants, all those activity for electricity, power plant, transformers, cables, and agriculture, tractors like this, which is available here in India. We would look forward to collaborate between our government and Indian government to set up those factories in Syria and to do it. Why to go for the West? Our president instruction for me and for our government to look for Eastern country, especially for India, who has good relations since many centuries ago. We need Indians to go there for their safety. They can ask Indian ambassador about the security in Syria, how it is available in Syria. If you will go to Syria, I will tell you openly, you will not feel a foreigner. You will feel you are in your homeland. Everybody in Syria, when has to come to know you are from India, he will welcome you, because India is well known for any Syrian, and we took our primary study. In our primary study, we learn about India, our principle of Jawaharlal Nehruji, about Gandhiji, about the independence policy of India in our primary school and secondary school. Second, I will tell you openly, there is many streets in Damascus. We can call Nehru Street, Gandhi Street. It is well known for our people, India. That is why we look forward for our friendly country to come. Why you are afraid? You are welcome. If you can form any business delegation, I will fly with them to Syria. And their safety as much my safety is there in Syria. And your ambassador is there. There is no problem to go up and down. And we can give for business delegation visa on paper if they like, if they don't like, if they scare from colonialism country, we'll give the visa on the paper. Let them go. All those countries who speak against Syria, their eyes on Syria, to send their company in Syria. There is German company in Syria. This is the first time I will announce. There is Italian company in Syria working, but they don't like our friendly country to come to work in Syria. They don't need our friendly country company to come and to compete them in Syria for the project of Syria. That is why they make this big propaganda. Last year there were more than 120 companies joining international Damascus trade fair in Syria, and they have seen Syria, and the people are in the street after midnight, in the coffee shop and everything. There is nothing in Syria for scaring to go there. Go there, my friend businessman, Indian businessman, and see by your eyes. Make it like a trip. If you are fair, you can do it. If you know, it's up to you. But don't listen to the media. And again, on behalf of my government, I invite Prime Minister of India, all the ministers of India to visit Syria in their convenable time. And something I would like also to add, our Prime Minister, who became last month's Prime Minister of Syria, he visited India 2 times when he was Minister in the cabinet in Syria. That is why he likes India too much, and we look forward to enhance the relation with Indian government.
Excellency, India has very good understanding about and the manpower and the back-end channel about the infrastructure development, and it is also, India is very well versed with build and operate and for a faster pace. So that should be a very good takeaway between India and Syria in the development of infrastructure, like what you also expressed about the tractors, about the cement industry, about the iron ore industry and other factories that could be developing between the two countries. What is the estimated volume in terms of revenue that you see that the business could be generated in your country in next maybe 2 to 3 years?
I will speak on the past. Before our crisis, the relation between our country in economical side reached around $1 billion. Now I look forward to make it more and more than $1 billion, because we need many companies to go there and to set up their factory and to make, for example, BOT power plant, to make BOT, for example, cement plant or steel plant, or invest with our government. Understand?
Or take the factories, take the product, industrial product from India and export it to
export
Syria.
it to Syria. The same also, to take medicine, sell it in Syria, to export, for example, steel to Syria, cement to Syria. We need to improve the relation between the both country, but we need, and from our side, we'll give big facility for the business, Indian business people in our country. Anything we are ready from our side, full support from our side for Indian companies to come to Syria.
Indian Bollywood industry, Indian film industry, and Indian cultural industry has a very good reception in Syria, and the people are very much well versed with it. What would you tell them? Why they should come to your country and enjoy? And your country itself is a very pristine country to be yet to be explored from the lenses of cameras.
I would like to say for them that exactly. If you go for any home in Syria, if you don't see Syrian channel, you will see, for example, Bollywood film on the TV. Our people very interested to see, for example, the actors of Bollywood coming to Syria like Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Kareena Kapoor. We would like to see all those actors visiting Syria, and we welcome them to Syria by Syrian government to come to Syria and to see in the ground. And I hope to make some film production in Syria and collaboration between the Syrian actor. If they are ready for that, I can arrange this invitation, and we can make collaboration to revive the historical Silk Road between the both country. We are very keen to see Bollywood actors, Bollywood film in Syria, and we welcome them through you and through your TV.
Excellency, music and theatre are two things that binds India and Syria a lot, because the music that comes out from Syria is something we all, and those from the traditional instruments, that is something very much well received in India, and the theatre in Syria and Indian theatre.
Yes, as I said, in Syria, Indian culture is well-known culture in Syria. And I will tell you, Kahona Kaho, remember this song? It is well known in Syria. And there is many songs available. You can hear this song on the street. And there is many Indian restaurants in Damascus, like Taj Mahal restaurant. There is Delhi restaurant in Syria. And they like the food, Indian food, like biryani, what I'll tell you also, chicken kebab and Hindi kebab, and this kind of food is well known in Syria, and our people like it too much. If we can promote this culture between the both country, it will enhance the relation in political side and economical side. When we make tourism and increase the tourism group between the both country, also it will help us to facilitate also for us to enhance the relation in many domains in politics and economy and social. And in Syria, I will tell you openly, we have open society. We have Oriental tradition like India, not like West, open too much, not like India, conservative, but we have the same Oriental tradition in Syria.
Excellency, to reach somebody's heart, food and music are the best thing. And you have already expressed that Indian food and Syrian food have a lot in common. And at the same time, we also share a lot of music. You have been in India for so long, Excellency. This interview will not finish unless until you tell about your experience, individual experience about India, because I can understand your busy work schedule may be taking a lot of time, but you must be enjoying India. Your stay in India, your family certainly has a very rich experience in India.
By your word, you reach my heart. I'll tell you, I came first time to India in 2003. as a chargé d'affaires of our embassy. And when I came to India, my small child was in my hand. I went to Syria in 2008 and came back to India as ambassador in 2011. Now my small child who came first time to India now finish his higher study in Delhi University. Understand? That is why all my family pushed me to come back to this country to meet again their friend, because they eat from this ground. Who came to India first time, maybe he will face in the beginning a little difficulty, but when he leave, it is not easy for him to leave this country, this land, those lovely people. India is an incredible country. I don't know what is the magic to encourage you to come to India. I went for holiday to Europe. I took permission from my government to go for 1 month to Europe. I didn't continue my vacation in Europe. After 20 days exactly, I came back immediately to India. I don't know who pushed me to come immediately to India. India is an incredible country, lovely people, nice government, largest democracy. It is, I cannot say more. I like India from my heart.
And Excellency, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has a special space in his heart for the people of Syria and the country of Syria. What is it like having known as a Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, in your country? How are the people-to-people reaction that you get to listen or hear from them there?
First of all, I would like to say that Mr. Narendra Modi is a hero of India, and he is what I cannot express good myself to give him his nice quality. I will tell you openly, is a hero, is international leader, not only for India, is international leader, and is a strong man who saves the sovereignty of India, the dignity of India, and he make India has a strong voice in international arena. When India say something in international arena, many countries follow the strategy and the policy of India, because they know India always when give any statement, the statement it will be on the right way. That is why we look for India to help us more and more. They don't give less help. They help our country, but we look forward to enhance little, because we are in critical time right now. Our people suffering from terror groups, from the sanction of colonialism in country. We need Indian government, the strong man of India, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, to help our country. And we request Indian government minister, when they have convenable time, to invite them to Syria, and I will accompany them to Syria anytime, because India, they have independent decision, high voice in international arena. We look for India to help us more and more, and we highly appreciate what they did in the past. If any country do like India, I will tell you definitely there is no problem in the earth.
On that positive note, Excellency, thank you very much for your time and trying to unfurl the India-Syria relationship, what began thousands of years ago as a silk route between Syria and India. You are once again trying to bridge that gap, bring that link together for the business, though it has been $1 billion between the two countries until very recently, but there is definitely a scope of improvement, and the people of Syria remember India as a true friend, and that is something that we both cherish. India and Syria, two great civilizations, cherish a lot.
Thank you, my dear. I look forward to see the relation growing between our both country, and I pray for God to save India and its people.
Well, that was Dr. Riad Abbas, His Excellency Ambassador of Syria in India. He has been very vocal about the business, the relationship between the two countries, the diplomatic relationship, the political relationship, the economic and the socio-cultural relationship. We covered the whole trajectory of all the important aspects between India and Syria. Syria may be in news for all the wrong reasons for last few years, but then there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And Syria, as Excellency says, Syria and India have time-tested relationship, and this relationship will once again bounce back. Syria wants Indian investor, the infrastructure development that Syria needs. India is a very rightful partner in business. Excellency, thank you very much for all the gamut of subjects that we discussed. But it is also very important that your stay in India, you as a Syrian ambassador is also an Indian ambassador to Syria as well. So we in India will always cherish you being in India and bringing India to Syria as a link, as a silk route from Excellency Dr Riad Abbas from India to Syria as well. That is a great relationship are all about. It's a two-way, and you are a true ambassador of India also to Syria.
Yes, definitely. I hold India in my heart as I hold my country in my heart. I am a special envoy for Syria, and also in the same time I am a special envoy for India outside, and my family too, and my son who is member of parliament in Syria also too. And we look forward to India to be a superpower country and to get the permanent seat in United Nations Security Council. And India, if gets this permanent seat in Security Council, it will help all those small country, all those countries who look forward to save their sovereignty and their dignity.
Download Tarang online radio app from Google Play Store.
You are listening to Tarang Devotional Online Radio.